It doesn't matter whether it's 2 shades or 3 shades of different patches. It doesn't matter. It is your skin. You should love it.
Welcome to That's Derm Good. I'm Janelle Ball, and I'm excited to bring you thought-provoking conversations about biologics, specialty medications, treatments, and so much more. I'll be chatting with some amazing guests about access, affordability, and advocacy. You're really going to enjoy this show. Welcome to That's Derm Good. Today, my guest is Nirjeet Singh. Nirjeet is the co-founder of Vitiligo Allies. Thank you for joining me. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Janelle.
Yes, it's exciting to chat with you. I've been connected on LinkedIn for some time, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff that you're doing. So I'm really excited to just hear your story and hear all about what you've got going on, because it sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in the visible difference community, I feel like the more you do, the more awareness it creates, the more people you connect with, the more you make it a normal thing in the society and not seen as there's something wrong with someone or someone's not, like the word perfection. I don't like that word. What was my insecurity with visible difference became my power by sharing my stories, by getting the word out there. That putting yourself out there is hard. It's not easy. It takes time. For everyone's different. But yeah, I feel like the more you raise awareness, the more you connect with people, the more you create a better society, more kinder society.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when you were first diagnosed with vitiligo and how that really shaped your personal journey.
So it started when I was around 8, 9 years old, and it was a very small dot on my left knee. And obviously nobody knew what it was, and we tried various different medications. Some of the doctors would say don't go out in sun. Some of them would say put the ointment and then go in sun and let it absorb it. So you never knew, would it work, would it not work? You were left in a bit of a gray area that you wouldn't know what's going to happen, whether it's going to fix itself, whether it's not going to fix itself. Within the family, as I was growing up, like everyone was, like suggesting do this, do that, or this must have happened because you must have had fish and drank milk on it, or this must have happened because, I don't know, just myths and stigma that society creates, and then just comes up with something, and suddenly everyone thinks like that should be the right way of explaining why it happened when they don't know what it is or how it happens or anything about it. And then suddenly they become these doctors that without degrees, without any knowledge, and they're like, they know it all. Yeah, that's how it started. During the age of 8, 9 years old when it started with the vitiligo, when I was diagnosed.
So did they diagnose it with vitiligo, or it sounds like they didn't quite know what it was?
Yeah, so I learned vitiligo when I came to UK. And I'll get back to that. In India, they call it fulveri, but again, not many people know about it. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of stigma, a lot of myths, it's seen as something's really wrong with you. And they think that it's genetic. And they think that when I will have kids, or whoever has vitiligo will have kids, will pass it on to their kids. But that's not true, because I had it when I was 8, 9 years old. And none of my family members have it. None of my siblings have it. None of my mom's side first cousins have it. None of my dad's side first cousins have it. No one has it. It's only me. So again, when I was growing up, hearing all these things and trying different medications, it was always in the back of my head, like, I want to learn about this, but I don't know how or who to talk to or how to grow my knowledge in this area. But it was always in the back of my head. And that's how it started. Me voicing my opinion now over social media now, maybe it's because it was always in the back of my head, because I was hearing these things as I was growing up. Yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah. In your community, did you ever find anybody else that was dealing with the same thing as you were growing up?
So as I was growing up, I never met anyone that had vitiligo.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt I was the only one.
Right.
So I never really came across anyone with vitiligo until after lockdown, when I connected with Vitiligo Society and I did a few campaigns, and then I met people through social media. That's how I started to find more people with vitiligo. And then recently, I've come across within the South Asian Sikh community that I'm from. I've started to see people that have vitiligo now. I know one of my friend in Netherlands that I know, he's a Sikh, he has it, and a few other people that I know now have it. One of my friend's daughter has it.
Wow.
And so obviously it's a condition. It can happen to anyone, but it's always not good when you're alone, I feel like. Obviously it's not something I wish on anyone, but it's because with it comes depression, with it comes a lot of mental health journey, a lot of judgment, people looking at you differently. But to me, I love it. I can't see myself without it anymore. Like if someone told me tomorrow there's a fix for it, I'm not going to go for it, because I'm just so used to my skin now, vitiligo skin, that I want to keep it forever. I feel like it's part of me. It's made me who I am. And I was given for a reason. So I feel like it was given to me to spread the message of loving your skin. It doesn't matter whether it's 2 shades or 3 shades of different patches. It doesn't matter. It is your skin. You should love it.
Yeah. So now that you have more awareness, you know, you get a new car and you don't see that car until you actually have it, and then you see it everywhere. Now, because you have more awareness of vitiligo and what it is, and like you were saying, you have friends that have it, you know people now, is it more because you're aware of it and because it is more prevalent, and I think people are talking about it and they have a little bit better understanding versus before, you know, in your community didn't know anybody?
So within the community, no one's really talking about it as much. But because I know these people and they have it, so we met. And I feel like, this is one thing that I've noticed, and this is such a powerful thing. When you meet someone with vitiligo and you have vitiligo, you don't really need to say much. You just connect. It's like you feel like you've known them forever. You don't have to say much. You just have to say hi, and that's it. And you just connect. Is that vibrant connection internally that you don't need to explain. You can't explain it. It just happens. So within the community, there's not much awareness for it, but that's why I'm doing it a lot, because I feel like there will be people that might have it when they grow up. And whenever I'm asked what would I say to my younger self, it's like having this kind of support that I'm trying to create would have been great. Because then people saying stuff to me when I was young or during my teenage or early 20s or late 20s, it wouldn't have impacted me as much as it did with the depression and judgment and so much on, because I would have had someone to connect with, someone to talk to, a safe space, which is quite hard to find. And it's very needed, a community of people that you can reach out to talk to, and that you're not feeling alone. So yeah, I feel like that's much needed. Within the community, they don't really raise as much awareness, but I think what has happened is I've recently noticed that within South Asian community, not just in Sikh, but I've seen people, when it comes to skin condition, people are reluctant to get to know you, or relationship-wise, like dating-wise and stuff, which I've seen in the newer generation. I know some people that are married, that one person has vitiligo and the other partner obviously doesn't, and they're married. Obviously, there's a bit of understanding, and like there's empathy there, and there's not like, oh, this person has vitiligo, I'm not going to marry him for that. But I feel like it's happening slowly. The awareness should be continuously happening, and it needs to be out there more and more, as much as possible. I don't think there's an end to it. I just feel like it just needs to be happening continuously.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the more we have those conversations about it, the more
Yeah,
aware people have
yeah.
and understanding versus just assuming.
Assuming, yeah,
Hmm.
correct.
Yeah. So when you were younger, and you said that it started out with a small patch on your knee, like you knew about that, but not everybody. How long did it take before it was more visible for others to see? And how did that affect you? And where did you find any of your support? Did your family fully support you, even though they didn't quite understand what it was?
Yeah, so on my knee, obviously, it wasn't as much notice until you wear shorts and stuff
Mm,
like that. But when it started happening on my eye, around my eye,
mm,
people started noticing. My family didn't know much about it. Yeah, there was not much support from my family because they didn't know about it. They didn't know like what to do or what not to do. But yeah, there wasn't much support or understanding. I feel like because it's a subject that they didn't know how to
mm,
and how to react to it or how to. But yeah, there wasn't much understanding. But I think as I like during lockdown, what happened is I was going through some personal journey, personal mental health issues, and I started searching for words like vitiligo, vitiligo man, vitiligo woman hashtags on Instagram. I don't know if you know that you can follow hashtags on Instagram.
mm-hmm.
So if your profile's open and you've used that hashtag um, underneath your post as in your caption, your post will eventually come on my feed. I don't need to follow you because your
Mm,
profile's open. And if you go vitiligo, so that's how I connected with people. That's how I found out with the Vitiligo Society, and I connected with various different people. And one of them is Ruben. Him and
yeah.
me, we started Vitiligo Allies, and he mentioned he did this podcast with you last year or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, we met last year for a campaign we did in January for Vitiligo Society. It was called Let's Talk Vitiligo. Yeah, we did that campaign. We filmed like a series of discussion, people sharing their stories. I was one of them, and that was for up for an award this year. We went
Oh,
to the
wow.
O2 and for the Smiley Charity Film Awards. I think
That's amazing.
all the charities in the UK enter for that. Every year they film some sort of series of some kind of film that kind of gives a good message
Mm,
for the cause for that charity. So we were the finalist in one of the categories, and it was between the 17. But that's fine. But at least to see that recognized to that
yeah.
level, it
That's
was a big
huge.
achievement. We didn't expect that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Congratulations. That's amazing.
thank you. So yeah, that's how I started like connecting with people. And whenever I would talk about vitiligo, I used to feel like on LinkedIn, like people must be thinking I'm just talking about my skin 24/7. Although my background is from IT. I work in
Okay.
the IT. But yeah, but vitiligo was something that I was always passionate about. I wanted to do something about it.
Hmm.
So that's when I connected with people. And then I also applied for a modeling agency.
Okay.
So I connected with a Sikh, South Asian guy, but he was a non-practicing Sikh. When I say practicing, is like I wear a turban, I've got a beard, because as Sikhs we're not allowed to cut our hair.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he was non-practicing, and no judgment there. But it's fine. Everyone's entitled to do what they want. Because in my family, my dad is not baptized. I'm baptized, so it's everyone's entitled to do what they want in their life. So yeah, he was like he encouraged me. He has vitiligo, and he's a good friend. And he encouraged me to apply for this modeling agency called Zebedee
Mm-hmm.
in Sheffield. And he was like, "You would be the first one with a turban that has vitiligo and raising awareness out there as a model."
Mm-hmm.
And in the beginning, I was like, in my head, I was like, "I'm not 6 foot tall. I'm not. I don't have 8 packs. I'm not a bodybuilder. Like who's gonna? I'm not a model material, right?" So I was like, and he was like, "No, things have changed. The world is changing." I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "Okay, so I'll give it a shot." I applied, and then I got selected, and I did quite a few modeling gigs with them. did a catwalk, was invited in ITV News. I hosted Sephora last year.
Oh,
I don't
wow.
know, in Newcastle when they opened their two brand new stores. So it all gave me confidence.
Yeah.
It was all part of the journey. I feel like it was all meant to be. It was like it became a side hustle
Mm.
along with my IT job that I do on a day-to-day basis. And then it gave me more like content to talk about it.
Right.
Because I'm a person. If I'm making a post on anywhere on social media, I need to have a good reason behind it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone doesn't. Everyone's entitled to do what they want, but this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need to have a good story for it to be able to say, yeah, this is something for someone to read and
Right.
relate to. So that gave me lots of content around vitiligo to always talk about. And then I started connecting with a lot of people on LinkedIn with vitiligo. And me and Ruben, after the campaign, we just connected. We were always going to meet, but we never got around to it. And then after
Mm-hmm.
that campaign, we just connected. We just became like the brothers from different mothers, but we were long last like brothers that we were meant to be meeting together.
Right.
And yeah, we just created, and we were like, you know what? And I was talking to him. I was like, I want to start something for Sligo, and he was like, me too. I was like, let's do it together then. And yeah, so we came up with the name Vitiligo Allies. We did the logo, the branding, the social media,
Mm-hmm.
and we're working on the website now so that we can have mailing lists. And
That's amazing.
yeah, he recently was invited to America for is it the biggest conference of dermatologists?
Yeah. AAD. Yeah.
Yeah. He was invited there.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
So yeah, like it started to come together. We went to This Can Happen, another conference that we were invited to, which is all to do with uh, mental health, and
Mm-hmm.
everyone has a different segment to present. And so everyone there was presenting their segment, and we were invited to talk about visible difference, which Ruben was presenting. And it was nice to see that there was big companies on the board, and then our logo was next to that. So
Yeah.
it's quite nice to see like Barclays Bank and like EY and big firms there, and then our logo with Sligo Allies is there as well. So it's quite good to talk about visible difference there.
Yeah.
They're quite huge, and so we went there, and then he did some workshops in Manchester, panel discussions. I was invited in panel discussions recently. Um, this is my first podcast, proper one, so I'm
Ah.
glad. So yeah, just thought I'd mention. So I'm glad to
First of many,
start
I'm
this.
sure.
First of many, yeah. So I think it's so. Just to wrap that question up, is that there wasn't much support. It was always in the back of my head.
Mm-hmm.
So during lockdown, things started to shine, and something came out of the blue. Obviously, I think it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Like all this stuff that was in the back of my head. I want to do something about this. I want to connect with people. I want to learn more about this. I want to, embrace it and all that, love it, and all those thoughts that run around your mind. It just came together during
Yeah.
lockdown. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's amazing that number one, that it took that long, but it took that long for a reason. I feel like a lot of really good things did come out of being in lockdown. But so tell me a little bit more about Vitiligo Allies. What exactly is the mission of the platform, and who is it for? Who are you wanting to reach that you don't feel like has really been reached yet?
Obviously, we want to reach as much people, communities as possible with vitiligo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we have Vitiligo Society, but they're a charity. We're not a charity.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we're not doing that is because we feel like it's just going to clash. We are also ambassadors for the Vitiligo Society.
Mm-hmm.
So we just created a separate, like a ladder, you can
Mm-hmm.
say, to have like in-person events, to work with dermatologists on research programs,
Mm-hmm.
to like get invited in universities and corporate events to talk about visible difference. Like when people are wanna like events and stuff like that. Connect with people, have more meaningful in-person events, and allow people to get first-hand information. Connect them with specialists, so they're not just going through any random people and people telling them what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
Because you can easily fall in that, and you can spend monies on medicines, and you just never know whether that person was legit or was just making money off you, right? So we want to get them to the right people, right route. We want to monetize it, but we want to monetize it for the community. So we want to make it into a monetization so that we can give more to the community, better events, have more events, make it on a national level, raise awareness, take part in research, and connect with dermatologists, specialists, go to universities, corporate events, and also work with beauticians and the people that create these ointments for different skins.
Yeah.
And how to support vitiligo skin better. So various different things like that. It's some things, obviously, we're still cooking.
Right.
But I think one of the things we want to do is, whether you have vitiligo, whether you don't have vitiligo, you could be a dermatologist, you could be a skin specialist, or you could be just a person that just wants to learn or support your family member that has vitiligo, or support your friends, or just it's open to everyone, right? Open to everyone who is keen to learn about this, who is coming with an open mind to genuinely learn about this.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've seen that Ruben's doing a lot with talking about mental aspect, and that's not something that I feel like I've seen a lot of, and I think that is really important to kind of highlight, especially if you do have a family member, understanding exactly what they're going through, because it's more than just their skin, and how it really affects their mental state and the relationships, and kind of like you were talking about before, it does affect all of that. So having resources like that, I think, is amazing, especially for family members, because I think that's probably one of the hardest things. It's like family members, they want to support you, but they don't know how. So understanding that, what do they need, what do you need from them, and what do they need to do to be able to understand.
And I feel like our website is going to be like a central link to all the different vitiligo bodies around the world that in a similar mission, to provide as much information and connection for them as possible, and make it not just national, international, so that everyone knows about it and no one's like pretending like, what is it? It's a talked topic, and we want to make it big. Whether it's like Vinnie Harlow's created a cream, she's created dolls with a condition. She's now in part of a GTA game as a vitiligo character. So it's a good thing. It's progressing. There's so many other people that I know with vitiligo. They're modeling. They're doing various things. A few of the things that I have vision of is, I want to make a personal documentary that I want to submit to Netflix, because I feel like there's a gap. And the other thing that I'm currently working on, to create vitiligo emojis.
That would be great.
So it's all linked, right? Everything helps with the awareness. Everything helps. When you're represented, I feel like people get more and more like interested to see what this is, or what does this mean. And so, and the more passionate, obviously, because it's to do with your skin. And I feel like sometimes vitiligo, when people talk bad about vitiligo, I feel it's more like a racism. You're not happy with that skin color, right? And I feel like back in the day, the black color was also, people were also saying various different things to put it down with their racist comments and racist minds. But I think the world shifted a lot. Like the more we talked about, the more people started raising awareness, and you know, everyone was respected. It doesn't matter what skin, gender, or color you are, or religion you are. We're all human. Right. Everyone deserves to have a place. Everyone deserves to have be recognized, and equality. One of the things that we get taught in Sikhism, equality is very important. Mm-hmm. Recognize all human race as one. Mm-hmm. So if we are all one, then it doesn't matter what color you are, whether you're black, white, or you've got 2 skin colors, 3 skin colors, 4 skin colors. We're all one. We're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important for people to understand that.
Yeah.
So tell me, okay, you've got so much going on. You're modeling, your Vitiligo Allies, you know, creating with Vitiligo Allies. I mean, I'm excited for what's to come with this. I mean, doing conferences and stuff. So this would be, let me know when you come to the US.
Definitely.
But yeah, that's exciting to hear all of this. So you're also working full time in tech. Yes. How do you balance all of that?
I mean, it just comes in natural because IT stuff is something I do day to day. Yes. So 8 hours a day, I'm like locked in. I'm with clients, meetings. Obviously, in the morning, maybe 8 to 9, I'm going through LinkedIn and I'm like, okay, if I see anything. So recently we saw that me and Ruben, we're continuously talking. We're looking to organize an event in May with another creative agency. I don't know if you heard of Changing Faces UK.
Yes, I have.
So I'm a campaigner for them now.
Okay.
So what that means is I basically have some support from them to talk about visible difference and get involved in projects. And if I have a personal project, they will support me.
Yeah.
I had this idea that I want to create a documentary on vitiligo. And I was talking to this creative agency in Manchester, and I was like, it'd be great you guys do it with us, and then we get Changing Faces involved. And he was really interested, and that was a really well taken idea. So that's what I'm currently working. But something that is, I feel like with my day to day, yes, I'm very focused in my work. All these ideas are in my head, and I write them down. Me and Ruben, we always connect in the evenings. So after work, after 5, I'm like, I still have energy. So I use that next part of the energy in the next 2 to 3 hours in the Vitiligo Allies stuff.
I feel like as, you know, a business owner and kind of an entrepreneur myself, it's hard to kind of turn that off when you start getting those creative ideas and you're like, oh, I could do this or I want to do this. Then they just keep coming. So when you start meeting people and, you know, you just start creating new ideas. And I think that's exciting.
Yeah. And I obviously these ideas, we're like always, we're always, me and Ruben, we just having conversation on WhatsApp, me firing messages to him and him, and we're just always like talking. And it's good to have a sounding board, you know, person that you, because doing it alone is hard and it's not fun at all. You need to have some support, some people that you can trust and work. We're just going with the flow. If it happens more, it happens more. If it's happening slow, it's happening slow. It's fine. We're not stressing about that. We need to get this done. We need to get this done. But as long as we're making an impact, that's it. That's what matters. Whether it's 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, it doesn't matter. As long as we're making an impact, that's the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think one of the things that really made us happy last year was when we ran 3 in-person events for Vitiligo Allies. Each event, we had people come from quite far away. Like people come from Birmingham, like 1.5 hours train journey or drive. I think when we did our first one, a mother brought her daughter, South Asian community, and the daughter is 9 years old and she has vitiligo all over her face and body, like myself. Yeah, and it was nice to see that her mother was very supportive, how her family is very supportive, and she wanted to meet us to see more people with more vitiligo. So it was nice to see that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And we've started to build the network on LinkedIn as well, because I've connected with loads of people with vitiligo, over 100, 200 people now that have talked with me, have messaged me. Yeah, whether and on Instagram or various people around the world, America, Canada. One of the things that I learned from one of the models was recently, she's a mother. She is in, one of her eyebrows is white and one of her eyelashes is white. So my eyelashes, right, I have recently started going white naturally. And this comes from vitiligo.
Okay.
So I never knew about it. So it's called polisis. It's Poliosis. Obviously, in England, we would say poliosis, but I don't know what the correct pronunciation might be. But it's something that comes from vitiligo, because I know one guy as well who has vitiligo, and only this part of his beard is white and rest is black all over. So it's either in your beard or in your mustache or on your eyebrows. Or the reason it's different is because it's not going to be all over. It's only going to be a little bit like, different. Like, so that is poliosis that I learned as well recently.
That's different. That's so interesting. I mean, there's so much that we can continue to learn and educate. I think that's really amazing to be able to learn that information and give that out, send that out, share that with other people. And Vitiligo Allies, that name is very fitting. I like that.
Yeah, we were thinking like, what should we call it? What should we call it? We wanted something that just flows on the tongue nicely.
Yeah.
And it's not too long. It's just straight message, like to the point, and we're like Vitiligo Allies. It just flows really naturally, really well.
It does. So what would you want young people with vitiligo or anyone different to know?
I want them to know that nothing's wrong with them. Everything's fine. Everything's fine with them. When I was younger, when I used to hear things, all these things around vitiligo, or you must have had a fish and drank milk on it, or you ate this and that, and all these myths and stigma. And I feel like that has a lot of negative impact on you because you feel like there's something wrong with you. And I just want them to know there's nothing wrong with you. You're all perfect. You're all beautiful. It's just a skin color. And love your skin more than anything, because that's what makes you. That would be my ultimate message. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for joining me and chatting and telling us all about Vitiligo Allies. It's really exciting to hear your journey and how you're just empowering others and educating. I think it's really, really exciting to hear and to see what's happening. So I really look forward to continuing following your journey on social media, and hopefully we connect again. And, whenever you guys are in the US, come in here for your conference, let me know. I'd love to connect with you guys, but I appreciate it.
I was saying to Ruben, when we go to America, we're going to meet all these awesome people.
Yes. Or vice versa. I could come there. I could use a trip.
You're more than welcome. More than welcome to come to Manchester and we can meet you.
Yes. Thank you, Nirjeet.
No worries. Thank you so much for this podcast. I really appreciate it. It's good. Like, you've created a really nice space for here with the idea of That's Damn Good. I really like that name. I was telling Ruben, I was like, it's like that's damn good. It's that's damn good. So yes. I like it. I like it. It's to the point.
Yes.
I'm seeing stuff from yourself on social media, and you're doing really good work in this space, and keep continuing to do it, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me and listening to That's Derm Good. You can expect new episodes of That's Derm Good every week. The podcast is available on your favorite app, including where you're listening right now. Subscribe to the podcast so you never miss a new episode. Bye.